Hello there, it's Amber here. I've made it my New Year's resolution to reach 21 subscribers on Patreon in 2021, and I need you, yes you, to help make that happen. We truly depend on the kind monthly contributions of listeners like you to help us keep our small independent operation going. So if you would have the means, we hope you'll head on over to our page at patreon.com/bndpod to see our tiers and subscribe at whatever level works best for you. Not only will you get perks like 2 extra episodes a month, early ad-free episodes, and access to our monthly newsletter, but you'll also help unlock special extra episodes on our main feed with every 5 new subscribers we add. Sound good? Then again, we hope to see you soon at patreon.com/bndpod. Later all. Page 26, July 2nd, 2021. Hello all, and we welcome you to another edition of the Book Nerd Diaries. We're the bite-sized bi-weekly podcast diving deep into the latest books we've crossed off of our endless to-read list. Please watch out for spoilers ahead, folks, and let's get our book nerd on. In 2016, I was introduced to a little modern fantasy YA series called The Raven Cycle by Maggie Steifvater. Consisting of 4 books, this breathtakingly beautiful series chronicles the story of 5 teens in the sleepy town of Henrietta, Virginia, as they are united in an epic search for the lost tomb of legendary Welsh king Owen Glendower. Along the way, the friends unlock the magical secrets hidden in their beloved town, as well as within themselves. The Raven Cycle series, as a whole, is without a doubt one of the most stunningly written works of fiction I've ever read. Because of this, I even gave it a spot as the most recent honoree on our Patreon exclusive series, the Book Nerd Hall of Fame. The book that I am thrilled to talk about with you today, Mr. Impossible, is the second installment in author Maggie Steifvater's Dreamer trilogy. Continuing the tale where the Raven Cycle ends, the Dreamer trilogy focuses on the rough-edged rebel Ronan Lynch as he learns to control his ability to pull people and things out of his dreams into the waking world. On top of this, he must also find a way to save himself and those who share his incredible power from those who wish to see them dead. As our book opens, we see 4 members of a shadowy organization called the Moderators. This group's mission is to hunt down Zeds, their name for people with the power to dream anything, even people, into being. It had been prophesied that a Zed would be responsible for the ultimate end of the world, and so they believe that killing Zeds is the only way to save the future of humanity. Naturally, the Dreamers, or Zeds themselves, have a thing or two to say about their compatriots being senselessly murdered one by one. As the Moderators are driving their way down a country road to their next mission, a car suddenly appears just ahead of them, as if out of thin air. 3 Zeds, who turn out to be our hero Ronan Lynch and his companions Bride and Hennessy, emerge from this new car and launch attacks on the Moderator's car using dream-created bombs, before once again vanishing completely without a trace. Now you see them, now you don't. I happen to be a complete introvert myself, so I could only hope to one day achieve that pure level of drama. Our trio of dreamers in question follow up this spectacular display by heading to the abandoned West Virginia Museum of Living History. In that quiet, abandoned building, Bride instructs them on paying attention to their surroundings and asks them to start dreaming. Hennessy dreams of the Lace, a shadowy nightmare entity that has dominated her sleeping hours since she was small, until Bride instructs her to dream of a new location that does not include the Lace. After some focusing on Hennessy's part, they both find themselves standing in an art studio. As she is a professional art forger by trade, this could be easily considered the closest thing she has to a happy place. Hennessy instinctively starts painting, and is just about to bring her new creation into the waking world on Bride's instruction, when she is suddenly shocked awake. To Hennessy's surprise, she finds herself tumbling out of a barn they had been hunkered down in, her body entirely encased in an odd cage made entirely of wheels that Ronan had dreamed while she was painting. Because of this blatantly obvious display of supernatural powers, the group is forced to once again flee before the moderators catch up with them. Though this story can be pretty dark at times, the idea of someone rolling around in a cage of wheels seems like something straight out of Looney Tunes, and I love it. Elsewhere, we join Hennessy's dreamed double, Jordan. She has given Ronan's brothers, Declan and Matthew, whom she had been traveling with, the slip while they had been distracted. She drives away in Declan's car and heads to a party Hennessy had been invited to by an all-female criminal syndicate known only as Boudica. Posing as Hennessy, Jordan mingles with the crowd until she is led to an area where a special presentation is being held. The main attraction of this demonstration is a selection of artwork known as sweet metals. Though seemingly ordinary paintings and sculptures at first, they're revealed to have the power to keep dreamed objects and people alive, separate from the people who dreamed them. Typically, anything or anyone brought to life by a dreamer falls into permanent sleep or disappears altogether once their dreamer dies. With the discovery of these sweet metals, however, that could potentially change forever. As Jordan is the product of a dream herself, the idea of being able to live a full life of her own, apart from Hennessy, is more than she could ever imagine. After being abandoned by Jordan and having their car stolen by her, brothers Matthew and Declan Lynch are hiding out in their sprawling childhood home, known as the Barns. The only problem is, however, that the Barns is also home to a menagerie of bizarre dreamed animals and objects that Ronan had left behind. A very surprised Declan wakes up screaming, surrounded by a swarm of these creatures, and in turn wakes up Matthew as well. The pair goes to the Barnes mailbox, which, unfortunately, is behind a magical barrier Ronan had created to protect the property. This homemade alarm system shows trespassers visions of their worst nightmares, and not having any choice, Matthew volunteers to brave it. This sort of alarm system sounds absolutely horrifying to me, but undeniably effective. For his efforts, he finds in the mailbox a collection of junk mail, as well as a strange postcard for an art museum. When Matthew returns, he and Declan decide to find a car to replace the one Jordan had stolen and go shopping. In the meanwhile, our hungry trio of dreamers head into a fast food restaurant and freeze everyone in time while they steal patrons' food. I don't know if stealing food from people's plates is necessarily the most sanitary meal option, but whatever works, I guess. Suddenly, an ominous black liquid called night wash, which is a symptom that occurs when dreamers abuse or ignore their powers for too long, starts pouring out of Ronan's nose. It seems, unfortunately, that time is running short. With the future of dreamers and the dreamed in jeopardy, our trio makes a destructive cross-country journey to clear human pollution from ley lines across the country to further amplify their power. Meanwhile, Jordan, Declan, and Matthew do further research into sweet metals, which may allow the dream to finally gain their freedom, as the moderators work to destroy the dreamers and the dreams altogether. As I stated before in this episode's intro, I've been a major fan of author Maggie Steifvater's work for years now. Few works of fiction have grabbed my imagination as completely in recent years, or as thoroughly, as her series The Raven Cycle did. As such, it only stands to reason that I would be more than eager to dive right back into that world with the Dreamer Trilogy spin-off series. What sweetens the deal even more is that this trilogy offers even more of a window into the psyche of enigmatic, self-destructive Lost Boy Ronan Lynch, as well as the rest of his dysfunctional family post-Raven cycle. Just because a hero saves the day doesn't mean there aren't still monsters lurking in the shadows, even if those monsters are only in their mind. Naturally, I would highly recommend this book to anyone who is already a fan of the Raven Cycle series and wish to dive even deeper into the story with this lovely spin-off trilogy. For those who are new to the world of the Raven Cycle, or may not have heard of it before now, I would definitely urge you to start your journey by picking up The Raven Boys and reading the entire original 4-part series from there. Not only is The Raven Cycle a masterpiece of a series, and it will give you even deeper context for what is happening later in the Dreamer trilogy. For people who love modern-flavored fantasy titles like The Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Shadowhunters, or Percy Jackson, then The Raven Cycle and the Dreamer trilogy are definitely for you. Please be warned, however, that this series may contain content that is difficult for some readers, so please be sure to check out the content warnings in our show notes before reading these books for yourselves. We finally made it to the end of our main discussion for today, dear listeners, but worry not. There's still more show coming your way after this very quick break.
Are you an author, fellow podcaster, or small business owner looking to spread the word about your product or service? Then let us help you. We offer a number of affordable monthly advertising packages in various price ranges. So if you'd like to hear your ad here in future episodes, please head on over to our page at ko-fi.com/bndpod and click on the Shop tab to see what works best for you. Again, that's ko-fi.com/bndpod. Then click on the Shop tab. We can't wait to work with you.
And we're back, lovely people. Did you miss us? Now that we're on the other side of our break, it is now time for that ultra-nerdy part of our show, the Trivia Corner. Here, we give you a trivia question related to today's book in some fashion. And as we're all about dreamers today, our question this time around is all about sleep. Ready? Your question is, how long should it take, on average, for a person to fall asleep? Is it A, 5 to 10 minutes, B, 10 to 15 minutes, or C, 20 to 30 minutes? Your answer is B, 10 to 15 minutes. According to my source for this question, health.clevelandclinic.org, falling asleep within 5 minutes or less is a sign of sleep deprivation. I know that this has been the case for me after a long day, so please be sure to take care of yourselves out there and catch all the Z's you can. With that, we have finally made it to the end of our episode for today, dear listeners. Before we go, we just wanted to extend our deepest gratitude to Julie and Katie, aka one of the very best sisters a podcaster could ask for being our incredible supporters on Patreon. We truly can't keep our small independent operation going without you. Also, thank you so much to everyone who has shared our posts on social media, told their friends or family about us, or left us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. These are the very best ways to help more ears find us. So if you like what we do, please be sure to spread the love in whatever way you can. Next week, Friday, July 9th, we'll be releasing a brand new bonus episode just for our dear $5 and up subscribers on Patreon. So please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. And we'll see you right back here in 2 weeks to open another page of the Book Nerd Diaries. We'll see you then. The Book Nerd Diaries is written, edited, researched, and hosted by me, Amber Wilchin. Thank you so much to the wonderful Astrofrek from Pixabay for the use of our new theme song, The Grand Entrance, and one tomorrow too, for our incidental music that plays during the Trivia Corner. If you would like to connect with us online, please follow us on Instagram or Twitter at BNDpod, on Facebook at Booknerd Diaries, or via our website at bndpod.wordpress.com. If you have any comments, questions, or ideas for future episodes to send my way, please feel free to drop us an email anytime at bndpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, everyone, please be good to yourselves, because the world needs you. And don't forget to support your local library.